Movie Nut here with a review for Nathan Hayes, also known as Savage Islands in Europe, the 1983 pirate movie starring Tommy Lee Jones and Michael O'Keefe. Set in the 19th century, the story follows a Reverend Nathaniel Nate Williamson who is left for dead after the island where he is practicing on is attacked by pirates and his fiancée is kidnapped. Now, Nate's only hope is to forge an unlikely alliance with the notorious and unpredictable captain/buccaneer Bully Hayes, played by Tommy Lee Jones. In the process, the two must track the pirates as they take Nate's fiancée to an island ruled by a fearsome cannibal king, and from there, adventure, action, and all the daring-do ensues. The acting all around is okay. Tommy Lee Jones, of course, is Tommy Lee Jones as always, and pulls off a respectable and likable portrayal of Bully Hayes, who by the way was a real-life pirate. Michael O'Keefe and Jenny Seagrove, who play the Reverend and his fiancée, are essentially your typical romantic couples, sort of like Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley in the Pirates of the Caribbean films. They're okay, but they're not going to stand out anytime soon. However, the real actor that steals the show here is Max Phipps as Ben Pease, the evil pirate. He is just so wonderfully vicious in this role. You can tell he was having fun with it, and he is, while not the scariest character, he is indeed menacing and does provide a good villain for the movie. He's just a greedy bugger who just wants, at the end of the day, to look for the best price. And the cast of pirates themselves are, while they don't get much dialogue, they do look colourful and different, with Bully Hayes' crew including an old man who dresses suspiciously like a postman, and an Asian pirate with a skull and bone leg in place of your traditional wooden peg leg. Of course, the big selling point here is the cinematography and the action. Now, the cinematography of the Pacific Islands, where the film is set, is beautiful. It is really, really good, considering that this wasn't made with a lot of money behind it. It looks beautiful. There are plenty of nice jungle shots, plenty of wide shots, plenty of just very beautiful locations of the islands and the ocean, and you do genuinely feel like this is its own world, like you're back in the 19th century. The action is a mixed bag. There are some scenes, like the beginning, where Bully is escaping from a tribe that he is selling weapons to. That is okay. That is actually good, but for the most part, the fight scenes here are really standard. It's just your typical sword fights, bar brawls, nothing too spectacular. And the ship battle towards the end of the film between Hayes and Pease is really nothing to write home about. In fact, it's a very strange fight because it isn't two big galleons fighting each other like Pirates of the Caribbean. It's instead a sort of a clipper versus an ironclad, the iron ships, the granddaddies of submarines. So it's a unique fight. It's not the best ever, but it's unique. And the score by Trevor Jones does its job. While it lacks the memorability and punch of John Williams' Indiana Jones score, which is what this film was following on the heels of, it does its job, and the main theme is nice and uplifting. And it does its job. It's not phenomenal, but it does its job very well. Of course, the final bit is the script. The script here is not very impressive. It's not dreadful. We're not talking about asylum screenwriting, but it's essentially swashbuckling 101. Girl gets kidnapped, guy has to find pirate, guy and pirate go off to fight bad guy, they save the girl. Pretty much what you'd expect from a swashbuckler. So the film doesn't really break new ground, but you know what? The script still manages to make it enjoyable. As I said, the characters here are likable. The Reverend can be occasionally annoying, but for the most part, the script, the dialogue that is here is, it's well written. It's not Oscar winning, but it gets the job done. It tells the story without shoving it down our throats. And given the era it was made in the early 80s, this isn't half bad. Obviously, the Indiana Jones movies were better because this was cashing on the big adventure movie craze of the 80s, but the script works for what it needs to. When it needs to be funny, it will be funny. When it needs to be serious, it will be serious. When it needs to give Ben Pease, some good lines, it will give him some good lines and make him indeed genuinely, menacing and vicious and just not a nice guy to be around. And the pacing of the script is not bad. It doesn't really drag, considering that this is, for all intents and purposes, a short film at 96 minutes. So not much to complain about. And really, that summarizes Savage Islands as a whole. It isn't a movie that really is much to complain about. It's just that it's not great, but it's not horrible either. It feels like a glorified TV movie. This feels like it could be split up into two parts and turned into a two-part miniseries or series pilot. And I think that would have been great if this actually was a TV pilot and it got its own series. I think we could have gotten some great episodes. It would have been nice to have a pirate TV show set in this sort of this strange era between the old and new. So you've got, the ironclads representing the new age and the clippers and the older ships representing the classic age. It would have made for an interesting concept. And it's too bad that this film bombed because it got no sequels or a spin-off. But this was a film that had promise. And while it doesn't deliver 100%, it is what it is, and it is very enjoyable. So, as always, with my final rating, I shall give Savage Islands, or Nathan Hayes, as you ever want to call it, a bronze star. It's not the best pirate movie ever made, but it's a very enjoyable one. It's the kind of movie that you pop on a Saturday afternoon with a beer or a Coke and just sit down and just regress to those boyhood days when you were in the cinema with your friends, just enjoying the high thrills of adventure. And I think this movie will fit that bill very nicely.